All right. Good evening, guys. So let me share my screen. All right. All right. Hold on a minute. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I'm waiting for a few more people to join. Let's wait till then. All right. Are you waiting for anyone else? All right, hold on. I guess they have created Google Classroom also. Those who have paid the fees, I guess they'll be adding you guys to the class. I believe you guys will obviously be providing your email IDs. So I guess this is not the one. Hold on. Yes, I've got the yeah. So the Google Classroom has been created. Right, you guys will be added based on your payment basis. So some of them have been already added to the Google Classroom. So these people have paid, I guess. So they have been added directly by the Naresh IT team. Even I will be added by Naresh IT team only. I cannot add you guys to the Google Classroom. Naresh IT team will be adding you guys. So let's continue with our session. So how many of you are attending today's session for the first time? Anyone? Anyone attending for the first time today? All right. Okay. All right. Cool. No problem. No problem. We have just started it yesterday itself. We have not done anything in our course yet. We have just started the course yesterday only. Okay. So let me continue where we have stopped yesterday. So yesterday we have looked into what is your testing and what is manual and what is automation. All right. We have explored these options yesterday. All right. We have explored these options yesterday. What is your manual testing? What is your test automation? What is actually testing? And I've given you a very basic example. Can you guys tell me the example that you remember from yesterday? Can you guys tell me? Can you guys remember the examples from yesterday? All right. Okay. Okay. But only 4 responses. Only 4 people have answered it. What about the rest of you? What about the rest of you? I've got only responses from 4 people. Okay, 8 people have answered it. All right. What about the rest? Exactly. We have discussed about our electricity bill payment example. So we have tried to understand who is a client, what is the role of a software company, how is your application developed, how is your testing done. We have vaguely understood these concepts yesterday. All right. And why do we do testing? And what do we do in manual and what do we do in our automation? Okay. So then moving on, the most important thing next for you is to understand the difference between project and a product. You need to understand the difference between a project and a product. All right. So what do you understand by project? Can anyone tell me what do you understand by project? What idea do you have about a project? Anything is fine. Okay, fulfill client's requirements. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Only one person has answered the question. What about the rest of you? At least you could have Googled it. At least you could have Googled and answered my question. As as I've already told you, this is going to be an interactive session. Okay. And this is going to be a hands-on session also. So your response, your active participation is more important. All right. Okay. Project. Okay, I'm getting multiple answers. Very good. Very good. Your participation is more important in this session. Not many of you might be aware of a project. That's fine. I can understand that. Not a problem. So as I've given an example yesterday, Based on that example, let me explain what a project is and what a product is. Okay. I might not be giving you the exact definition because understanding the concept is more important. So yesterday I've given you an example where you will be developing an application. I've given an example where you have electricity department. The electricity department wants to accept online payments. So they will reach out to a software company and they will explain their problem. Their problem is to accept online payments. So the software company should now develop an application so that they can accept online payments. So this entire process, okay, this entire process of accepting, or let's say this entire process right from identifying the problem, explaining the requirements, developing the application, testing the application, and releasing the application. This entire cycle, it is called as a project. This entire cycle is called as a project. First, the electricity department understands that they have got a problem. What is the problem? The problem is that they are not able to accept online payments. There are too many people coming to their office, due to which there is a lot of rush. So they want to digitize these payments. So that is their problem. They have identified a problem. So they have gone to the software company. They have went to the software company and they have explained their requirements. The requirement is to have an application which will accept online payments, credit card, debit card, UPI, phone pay, Paytm. All right. The user should be able to log in. The user should be able to search for his bill. The user should get an OTP. All these requirements. They will explain these requirements. The software company will note down these requirements. They will develop the application based on these requirements. Then, without actually testing, the software company is not going to release the application. So they'll test the application, obviously. So they'll test the application. After a testing, they will release the application for the client. So this entire process is nothing but your project. This entire process, okay, is called as your project. Okay. Next, sometimes, now let's try to understand what is the output of your project. If you complete your project, what will be the output? What will you get as an output after the completion of the project? Okay. Exactly. If you complete your project, you'll get a product. If you complete your project, the end result of your project. Okay, the end result of your project. Once you are done with your project, you have completed all these tasks. You have fulfilled your entire requirements of the client. You have fulfilled all the requirements. You have developed the product. You have developed the application. You have tested the application. The output is nothing but your online electricity bill payment application. Online electricity bill payment application. That is nothing but your output. That is nothing but your product only. The output, the final output, the final end point of your project is nothing but your product only. That is your application. Because you are in terms of software testing or in the software industry, product is nothing but your application. Okay, the application can be anything. It can be a browser-based application. It can be a desktop application. It can be a mobile application. It can be Android. It can be iOS. It can be anything. Application is nothing but a product is nothing but your application. Okay, so this is your software project and software product. No, can anyone? I mean, does anyone have any idea, or does anyone have any? Do you know the difference between a product-based company and a service-based company? A product-based company and a software and a project-based company or service-based company. What is a product-based company? Okay, Radhika. All right. All right. Okay, let me explain. So some of you are giving, some of your answers are correct, some of your answers are not correct. Let me explain. Let me give you an example. Microsoft, is it a product-based company or a service-based company? No, I mean, in reality, it's not a service-based company. It's not a service-based company. It's a product-based company. Why? Because they have developed their own products. Microsoft Outlook, Microsoft, Office 360. All right, your entire Windows operating system. They've not developed it for any particular client. They have developed the software. They have developed the product, and any prospective client, any particular client who is interested in using these products, they can purchase those products. They can start using their products. They've not developed it for any particular client. They have developed their own product and they are selling their product. That is what is a product-based companies. Microsoft, Google, Oracle, SAP. These are all your product-based companies. Whereas TCS, Cognizant, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, these are all your service-based companies. Why? Because any particular client can go to TCS, Cognizant, or any service-based company. They can explain their requirement and they can get an application developed particularly exclusively for them. Okay. TCS and Cognizant, all these service-based companies will develop a particular application exclusively for that particular client. TCS might be having hundreds of clients. TCS might be having hundreds of clients. They'll be developing hundreds of applications for these particular clients. Each client will be having a particular product, particular application. All right. Product-based company is not like that. Product-based company, they have only set of products, a defined set of products, one product or 5 products or 10 products. That's it. Only those list of products will be sold to your customers. Okay. Whereas your service-based company, it's nothing but it will take requirements from anyone and everyone and then develop an application out of nowhere. They have nothing of their own. They will create something for the client. That is what is the difference between your product-based and service-based companies. Okay. Now, let's understand the difference between your white box, black box, and gray box testing. Is everyone clear till here? Everyone clear till here? Okay. All right. Next, white box, black box, and gray box testing. Okay. White box, black box, and gray box testing. These are a kind of testing techniques where, in your white, let's start with your white box testing. Okay. In your white box testing, to do your white box testing, okay, you test any application. If you want to do it in white box testing technique, you must be aware of your internal design of the application. What programming languages have been used? What databases have been used? How is the integration? How are the integrations done? Okay. What is the front end? What is the back end? What are the different algorithms that are used? Okay. What are the data structures that have been used? All these technical details should be, you should be aware of all these technical details if you ever want to do white box testing. So to explain it in short, you must be programmatically very good, almost like a developer, if you are going to do your white box testing. So the best example I can give you is your the best example I can give you is your SDET roles. Okay, software developer, software development engineer in, it is your SDET role, SDET. SDET is nothing but that person, he is supposed to do testing. He's got development knowledge, but he has to do testing. Why? Because if ever there are any bugs, okay, if there are ever any bugs, that person is responsible for identifying those bugs, and also, if possible, that person can also do the code fixes in the application also. He's almost like a developer, but he is into testing. So you're in your white box testing technique. Okay, in your white box testing technique, you must know the internal structure, the design, the coding, okay, the front end, back end, the databases, the integrations. Basically, entire technical aspects of the application should be known to the particular person who is doing white box testing. Your SDETs are the best example in the market. Next, your black box testing. Your black box testing is nothing but the person who is doing the black box testing has only idea about the functionalities of the application. How does the application work? How can I open the application? If I click on this button, what will happen? If I give this particular input, what will be the output? After this screen, what will be the next screen? After this button, which button should I click? These are all the details that particular person will have. How is the application flowing? After this screen, what will be the next screen? These are all the details the particular person will have. I hope my voice is very clear. Or is anyone having any issue with my voice? Everyone can hear me clearly? All right. So whoever is doing black box testing, that person only knows the details of the functionalities. How is the application working? That's it. He or she does not have any idea about uh, the code or the front end, the back end, the database, all of that stuff. He doesn't know anything of that stuff. He doesn't know any technical aspects of the application. He just knows how the application is working. That's it. Apart from that, he knows nothing else about the application. Okay. It mainly, the main emphasis when testing the application is on the functionality. That's it. Is the requirement being satisfied or not? That's it. Nothing much. And in case this particular person who is doing this black box testing, in case this particular person gets any bug, if he gets any bug, he doesn't know how to resolve that bug. Maybe he has an idea why he has got that bug, but he doesn't know what changes need to be done in your code. Why is this bug appearing in the application? He may not know that because he's not technically, he does not have any technical knowledge, does not have any coding knowledge. He does not know how the application internal design is, internal structure is. All right. Only he knows about the functionality of the application. The best example is your manual testers, the manual testing team. You do not call them as your manual testing team. Moving forward, you should call them as your functional testing team. Functional testing team or manual testing team, both most of the times they are the same. The functional testing team, they only test the functionalities of the application. That's it. They don't do any automation. They don't have any coding knowledge. They don't have any technical aspects with regards to the application. They only know the functionalities of the application. That's it. Understood your white box and black box testing? Understood everyone? If you got any queries, feel free to type it in the chat box. All right. If you got any queries, feel free to type it in the chat box. Yes, Neha. Mostly developers will be there in your white box testing. Exactly. Most of the time. But we really can't say it's the developer's responsibility to do white box testing. Okay. Um, you cannot say that the developers will do white box testing. Doesn't work like that, because you will also have a develop sometimes in huge big projects. Even there will be a development team even for testing also. Even for a testing, there will be a development team again. So you cannot really say that white box testing is done by your developers. Maybe, maybe not. Not mandatory always. But the person who is doing white box testing, he has very good technical knowledge of the application. Not just the functionality, he also has idea about the code that has been written about the application. Whatever code that has been written in developing that application, he has idea about all that particular code. He can resolve any bug that appears in the application. In your black box testing, yeah, black box testing, most of the times it's done by your functional team or your manual testing team. Your manual testing team does the black box testing because they have the idea, they have the functionality, they have idea about the functionality of the application, how the application works. Okay, if I give this input, what will be my output? If I click this button, what will happen? What will be the next screen? How can I search for my product? How can I do payment? How can I log in? All these details he can the particular person who is testing, he can know it very easily. No problem. He knows the functionality of the application very well. You give him any application, you give him Instagram, he'll be able to write test cases, he'll be able to test the application without any problem. He will be able to log into the application, he'll be able to search for some posts, he'll be able to send friend requests, he'll be able to share reels, he'll be able to do all of that stuff. But he doesn't know what is the code that is involved in doing all this stuff. What code is written to share reels? What code is written to log in? What code is written to, like some particular person's post? He doesn't know all that particular code. The person who is doing black box testing, his intention is only to verify if the application is working fine or not. That's it. If it is not working, he will simply raise a bug on Jira. That's it. There ends his responsibility. Next, here gray box testing. Gray box testing is a technique in which they have the people who are doing the testing. They're neither fully they neither have full knowledge of the functionality of the application, nor they have full knowledge of the internal code that has been written for the application. Basically, you're automation engineers. Most of the times, we automation engineers, we do not know our functionality also. Most of the times, because whenever you are automating something, you never know what the particular functionality is. Before automating anything, you will first have to listen to a particular session. You'll have a training session with your manual testing team. The manual testing team will explain the functionality. They will set some expectations for you. Okay, this is what I'm expecting from your automation. Okay, at the end of your automation, once your automation is completed, this is what your automation code is supposed to do. Let's say the example of Instagram login. Okay, the manual team will explain what the login functionality is. How will the login functionality work? What are the acceptable inputs? How will the application work if you give the inputs? He will explain all of that particular details, the flow. The particular manual tester, he will explain entire flow for this particular module, this login module. So you as the automation engineer, you are supposed to write the code in such a way that you will satisfy the functionality that is explained by the manual tester. But that doesn't mean you know the entire functionality of the application. No, you do not know the entire functionality of the application. Do you know the code that is written in developing the application? No. No. You don't even know what code is written in developing the application. You only have partial knowledge of it. You only have a partial knowledge of the code that is written in developing the application. I did not say that the companies hire only black box and gray box testers. I did not say companies do not hire white box testers. I don't remember saying that. And I'm not even sure who told that to you. I never said companies do not hire white box testers. I'm not sure where you have heard that. You are in a wrong notion, maybe. Your idea may be wrong. So this is what is your gray box testing is. You have partial knowledge of the functionality of the application, and the functionality will be explained to you by manual tester only. If you want to explore, you can explore the functionality, no problem. But when it comes to automation, whatever a test case that your functional team wants you to automate, they will first give you training on it. They will train you. Let's say first they want you to automate this, this login functionality. Okay. This login functionality. They'll explain what this functionality is for you. How does this login work? Okay, how does this sign up work? They'll explain everything to you step by step, and then they will ask you to automate that stuff. This is the best example. This is what happens with you in a day-to-day life as an automation engineer. Okay, as an automation engineer, this is what happens with you in a day-to-day scenario. They will explain you the functionality. They'll ask you to automate it. You will have to automate it and then share the final report with the manual testing team. If they are satisfied with the output, then you can finalize your code. If they are not satisfied with your code, if they are not satisfied with the functionality, okay, if they are not satisfied with your automation, then you may have to do some code changes. This is the average working day of an automation engineer. This is what happens with an automation engineer on a day-to-day basis. Okay, you do not have any knowledge of the application also. That is provided by your functional team only. You do not even have full knowledge of the application that you are testing also. The code that is written for that application. You have partial knowledge of both. Using this knowledge, you will move and automate your test cases. I'm not sure what that is, Preeti. Not sure what that is. Okay. Next comes here SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. Next comes here Software Development Lifecycle, SDLC. Okay. SDLC. SDLC is nothing but your project lifecycle only. Basically, your project lifecycle. Whenever you start your project, what are the different phases that are present in your project? That is what is discussed in your SDLC. Can you guys quickly explain me what phases do we have in your project lifecycle? Based on the Paytm example I have given yesterday or just a while ago today, can you guys let me know what are the different phases you have in your project lifecycle? Because your project lifecycle is very much similar to your SDLC only. Okay, what next? All right. All right. All right. So to give you example from yesterday itself, first is your identifying the problem. Your project lifecycle, your client will first have to understand what his problem is. What does he want? What does he want? Why is he bothering? Why is he struggling? The client must understand what he wants basically. Okay, once the client understands what he wants, then he can produce them as requirements to the software company. Okay, first he'll have to identify what his problem is. He will have to understand what he wants basically. Mujhe kya chahiye? What do I want? He'll have to understand first that. Next, he'll have to explain the requirements to the software company. What does he want in the application? Okay. Next, Abhijit, this will not be shared directly. This will be shared via Google Classroom only. How can I share it? I can share it only via Google Classroom, right? So next, after the requirements to the software company will take his requirements and they will not immediately start work on the particular application. No, they will never start the work immediately on the application. No, first they will understand, they will analyze the requirements that has been given by the client. So it's not possible to always satisfy the customer's requirements. Sometimes it may not be possible. The client may be requesting for something else, whereas there is no scope for that. So imagine your SDLC is also like your SDLC. The best example I can give you for your SDLC is, something like constructing a house, a small house. You have an open plot. You want to construct a small house in that particular open plot. You'll go to a construction company. So you are the client here. You are the person who wants a house in that particular open plot, a G+1 house. Okay, a G+1 house in that open plot. Okay, you go to a construction company. You go to a construction company and you will explain, okay, boss, I have this much of open plot. This is my dimensions of the open plot. So these are the dimensions of my plot. So I want a G+1 building in this open plot. This is what is your requirement. And you will say, I want a car parking. I want some 3 bedrooms, some washrooms, so a balcony, or I want an open garden. I want a puja room. You will explain all your requirements, all the minute details. The construction company will take all your requirements. But just because you have given all these requirements, is it possible to fulfill all of your requirements? Maybe, maybe not. Guys, stop copying your answers from Google and sending it to me. Stop sending me all these answers by copy pasting. Relax. I've asked you 10 minutes ago. You're sending me the answers now. Relax. Hold on. Listen to the class. Listen to the concepts. So you will be asking all these stuff. You want car parking, you want this, you want that, you want this, you want that. You will be giving all these requirements. But does that mean the construction company will definitely have to satisfy all of this? No. Maybe your plot is very small. Your plot, it may not be feasible to do all of this in your plot. Your plot may be very small, that it may not be possible to leave a car parking, an open garden, 3 bedrooms, a big puja room. Maybe not possible. Your open plot may be very small. So it may not be possible to do all of this stuff. So the construction company will suggest you some alternatives. Okay, instead of doing this, you can do something like this. This is what we suggest. This is what we suggest you to do to utilize your space very efficiently. This small plot very efficiently so that you can get 3 bedrooms, 1 puja room, some balcony, some 2 or 3 washrooms, a small car parking. Okay, they will suggest you something else. Whatever that you request may be not possible to fulfill. Okay, so the client will ask something. So the software company or the construction company, they will analyze the requirements next. After analyzing the requirements, if required, they will suggest any changes. Okay, boss, whatever you have asked, it's not possible. Some of it is possible, some of it is not possible. So I'm suggesting some changes to your requirements. Do this and good to go. So if you are okay, you will accept those and you'll move forward. Okay, next, if you are okay, after the analysis, the software company will let you know what their analysis is, what their feedback is. After that, if you are okay with their feedback, then if the client is okay with that feedback, if the client is okay with their analysis, their suggestions, then you will give go ahead. Okay, boss, do this. I'm happy with your suggestions with this alternative. No problem. If your requirements can be readily satisfied, very good. If your requirements cannot be satisfied and they are suggesting an alternate, no problem. If you are satisfied with the alternatives, go ahead. What happens after that? They will be preparing a design. If you are okay with their suggestions and if everything is finalized, you are okay with the outline, then they will prepare a plan, a design. They will prepare a design. Okay, this is the plot dimension. In this plot dimension, this is where you will have to design everything. This is where your parking will be. This is where your bedrooms will be. This is where your balcony will be. Okay, these are what the dimensions are. So they'll be drawing a plan, a design, basically. So similarly, even in your software industry also, they will create a design where they'll explain you what all programming language that we are going to use. What are the different modules that are involved in your application? How are these modules integrated? Okay, what kind of databases are we using? All these details will be provided in the design phase. Okay, in the design phase, they will be providing all of these details. After that, once the design phase is completed, all right, The construction company, it has provided you the design. You are satisfied with the design. What will happen next? You are okay with the design. What will you do next? Okay. What will they do next? After, the construction company has provided the design. This is how the house will look like. Okay. Then what will they do after that? Exactly. That's when the development starts. That's when the development starts. So once the design is ready, development or your construction will actually start. You will have engineers coming up. You will have your software engineers or your construction civil engineers coming up, and they will start work on the particular application or basically on your plot. They'll start your construction. They'll start your construction basically. But does your civil engineer do it? No, your civil engineer does not do the construction. He will only supervise it. He'll only supervise the construction. You should not expect your civil engineer to do plastering, do the foundation and all that stuff. Your civil engineer will only supervise it. All right. Similarly, here also, you will have subject matter experts. You have your subject matter experts. Okay. What they will do is, they will, you call them as your architects, product architects. Okay. Product architects. They are those people who have a very good understanding of the entire SDLC, your entire project life cycle. So the product architects will provide with the design. After that, the product architects will monitor your development also. After the development is done, okay, after the development is done, the output of your development is nothing but your build, BUILD, build. After development is done, after coding is done, what is the output? The output is your build, BUILD, build. Okay. Are you guys clear till here, till this point? All of you are clear till this point? All right. All right. And one more thing. When it comes to gathering the requirements, right? When it comes to gathering the requirements, who gathers those requirements is, in your software industry, who gathers those requirements is, you have someone called as your BS, business analysts, or PMs, project managers, or product managers. You have these designated people who are industry experts, who are good at collecting the requirements from the clients. They have a good expertise in collecting the requirements from the clients. So these people collect the requirements from the clients in your software project. Then they will prepare a document called as your BDD. BDD. Okay. Some people call it as business design document, business definition document, product design document, whatnot. People call it with all different names. But the ultimate thing about that is, it contains the requirements that have been gathered by the BAs from the client. Okay. The requirements that have been collected from the client are noted down, are included in a document called as your BDD. Each project, they call it in a different way. That's not a problem. But the BAs will collect all these requirements. I hope my voice is clear. I'm not sure why a couple of you have a problem with my voice. Everyone can hear my voice. All good. All right. Okay. So now BAs will design a document which contains the requirements from the client. Next, that document, your BAs, they may or may not have the technical knowledge, right? BA is not expected to do coding also. Not a requirement for your BA. He is not expected to have knowledge of Java or SQL or Python or anything like that. He's not expected to have all that knowledge. Okay. So The BA will pass on these requirements to your product architects or your development team. Think of a development team. The development team, based on these requirements, based on these requirements, the development team will suggest their analysis and design. The BA will collect the requirements. You will never direct the requirements will not be collected directly by your development team nor by your testing team. The BA will be in between you and the client. There will always be the BA between you and the client. Between the development team and the client, between the testing team and the client, there will always be a BA. The BA will take care of the requirement gathering part. And those requirements will be passed on to the development team as well as the testing team also sometimes. So based on these requirements, the product architects, the development team, they will do the design and analysis part, and then they will submit it. This is what happens. And after that, your development phase starts. Your development phase starts post that. Okay, your development phase starts. Okay, your development phase, whatever code, whatever technologies that have been agreed upon as part of the design and analysis phase, whatever technologies, whatever programming languages that have been agreed upon. Okay, let's say they want to use Python. Okay, let's say they want to use Java, whatever it is, using those programming languages which have been agreed as part of design and analysis phase, they will develop the application. Sometimes maybe they will develop the entire application at once by taking a lot of time, or they will develop the application in phases. In first phase, they will be completing a few modules. In the second phase, they will be completing some more modules. Third phase, some more modules. They may do it anyway as requested by the client. It's not that they are going to work on the entire application at once. They may be dividing the development into multiple phases. In the first phase, we will be working on these particular modules, the login module or some other modules. In the next phase, they will be working on few other modules. In the third phase, fourth phase, fifth phase, in successive phases, the application will be completed. So in the first phase, let's say 10% of the application is ready. In the second phase, another 10% is ready. So total 20% is ready. So at the end, by the end of the year, they are planning to complete at least 70% of the application development work. So this is how they will schedule their entire development work. After development is done, what is the output I have told you? What is the output of your development phase? Your product architect, your development team decides it. No, that's not the final product. I did not say final product. Final product is not the output after your development phase. No. Final product is not the output after your development phase. The output after your development phase is nothing but a build, B-U-I-L-D, build. A build is nothing but your application itself. That is your application only. Build is also nothing but another name for your application. But why do you call it a build and not a final product? Is it is not yet tested. Not yet tested. It is ready for a test. Build is nothing but the application that is ready to be tested and not ready to be released. Build is nothing but the application is ready for a testing, but not ready for release. Okay. You will then do your testing, be it manual or automation, whatever that is agreed, you will do your testing. And after your testing phase, if you get any bugs, you will redirect it back to your development team again. Your release will be on hold. Your release will be on hold if you get any bug. If it's a very serious bug, it will again differ. Your application will be on hold. It will not be released. So since you got a bug, you will redirect it back to the development team. The development team will have to understand what that bug is, and then they will have to fix that particular bug. Again, you will have to test the application for that bug. Just because your development team has said that they have fixed the bug, you should not believe them. You should again test it. You should always test your application thinking that the application has bugs. You should never believe that the application is working fine. No, that should not be the tester mentality. Should always be suspicious about the application and application's functionality. All right. So testing the application for the bug that has been fixed by your developer. Next, after that, after your testing phase, if you feel that all the bugs have been fixed, you will proceed with deployment, release, delivery, whatever it is. All of them are the same. Some people call it deployment. Some people call it release. Some people call it delivery. Some people call it go live. Go live. Whatever it is, it's all the same. It's all the same thing only. After your release, it's nothing but the application is ready for use. If the client wants to use it, the client can use it. If the end users, who are the end users? End users are those people who are actually going to use the application. We are all the end users for WhatsApp. We are all the end users for Facebook. We are all the end users for Zoom. We are all the end users for Instagram. End users are those people who actually use the product. You actually use the application. All right. So after a deployment, after the application is released, the application is available for the client. And if the client wants the end users also to use it, you can release it for the end users also. And does that mean your application that's the end of the project? No, that's not the end of the project, because sometimes there will be some bugs that have not been identified as part of your testing phase. You might not have identified that bug, and that bug might be appearing after release. Who knows? That bug might be appearing after release. You never know. So maintenance, that is why you call it as maintenance. Just because you have released your application does not mean your job is done. No, you are again have to provide support and maintenance also. So if you get any bug after release, you will again have to do the analysis, design, development, testing, and again you will have to deploy it. So the process will keep on going like this again and again and again. And your maintenance phase is not just for fixing bugs. Sometimes if the client wants any new functionality, the client wants any new functionality to be added in the application. Let's say when WhatsApp was first released, WhatsApp did not have voice internet calling option. WhatsApp did not have a video calling option. WhatsApp did not have payment option. Okay. So the client will request you guys to add new functionality. So even for that new functionality, the entire process will again repeat. So the entire cycle will keep going on and on and on and on and on and on until the client is satisfied and until the client does not have any more changes. This is what is your software development life cycle is. Understood, everyone? Everything clear? All right. So how many of you are there for the first session? For how many of you this is your first session? For how many of you this is your first session? You can raise your hands virtually. All right. All right. Cool. So let me take you through the course contents once. Okay. So this is your manual plus automation course. Okay. The manual course will be for 30 days, roughly. Okay. The entire course will be for 75 days or 2.5 months, basically. Give or take 1 week here and there. Okay. The entire course duration is 75 days or 2.5 months. Manual will be covering for 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. The rest of it is all automation only. Next, in your manual testing, we will be covering this entire theory part. This 30-page notes will be covering all the theory part, the definitions and all that stuff, the concepts, theory concepts and all. After that, we'll be covering how to write your test cases. Okay, how to write our test cases. Post that, we will also look into Jira. How to raise a bug, how to raise a bug. What is this bug tracking tool all about? You'll have to do it on your own laptops or desktops. So the basic requirement to join this session, you do not need to have any Java knowledge or testing knowledge. Doesn't matter which what your educational background is, what your professional background is, what career gap you have. You can be MBA, mechanical engineer, whatever you want, but you can still join this session. Okay. No prerequisites for this session. Okay. Next, after this Jira, you will learn about manual database testing, the basics of SQL till joins. You will learn SQL, your basic database testing manually using MySQL. This is also, this should also be done on your laptops. Okay. I'll share the notes. I'll share the notes with you. This all Word documents, everything will be shared with you every day. Okay. So you need not worry about the notes and stuff. The code will also shared with you every day immediately after the session itself. During the session itself, I'll be sharing the notes like this. All these notes I have shared with them. This is all the notes I have shared with them. This is all the manual testing notes. I'm yet to give some more notes to them in manual testing. So this is their automation. They've completed Java. They have completed Selenium. They have completed half of automation. The other half is pending for them. So I'll cover the notes for the rest of the part also. I'll be sharing that notes with them. Next, you'll also learn manual API testing using Postman, the basics of API testing. Okay. So this is what we will be covering in your manual testing. So that is why I need 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. Next, post that we will start our automation. Post that we will start our automation. In our automation, we will be starting with core Java first. This is a Java Selenium course. Okay. This is a Java Selenium course. We will be learning about core Java first. Once you are good with your core Java, once you have enough knowledge of core Java, we will start with Selenium. Okay. You should have good idea about core Java. Then we can start Selenium, because Selenium we are doing it using Java only. Selenium is available in multiple programming languages, Python, C#, all that particular languages. Java is also one of them. But you will have more openings for Selenium with Java. You can check it out on Naukri, Monster, all of these websites also. Selenium with Java has got more openings in the market. Okay. So we will first cover core Java. Next, your Selenium. Okay. So core Java alone, I will need around 3 to 4 weeks for core Java only. 3 to 4 weeks for core Java only, especially. Okay. Core Java will be covered in depth in this session. It's not a outline of core Java. You will be having a very detailed explanation of core Java. So that is what will be covered in your core Java. And this is going to be a Monday to Saturday class, 6 days a week. 6 days a week. Okay. 6 days a week. Every day, 9 p.m. IST. If you are in India, it's 9 p.m. 9 in the evening. And if you are outside India, it's 9 p.m. IST. You will have to convert it as per your local timings, local time zone, whatever time zone is applicable for you. Okay. Next, after your core Java and after your Selenium, we'll also learn 2 frameworks also. We will learn 2 frameworks like TestNG and Cucumber PDD. These 2 frameworks are also necessary. Okay, at least one of them is necessary for you to get a very decent paying job. Okay, just Selenium Java might not be enough for you to get a job. Okay, Selenium with Java might not be enough to get a job sometimes. So it's better to learn any one of these frameworks. But in our class, we will learn both of them. We will learn both of them. Okay. Next, after this, we will be learning about I'll be sharing a sample project also. I'll be sharing a sample project also with you. A basic sample project, corporate project. I'll try to take you as close as possible to a corporate environment so that you guys can also have an idea about it. Okay. We will also learn about Git, GitHub, and Maven. It's completely all right. Even if you are not aware of any of these concepts, you can relax. Don't worry. This will all be covered thoroughly from basics, from zero, from starting in the course. Don't worry about all of this stuff. It's my responsibility to cover all of this from the beginning. So I'll take care of the rest. Don't worry. So every day it's going to be easily 1.5 hour session. It will be a 1.5 hour session, but keeping your attentiveness in mind, I will take 1 hour 15 minutes to 1 hour 20 minutes session. And since this is your very first week, I am leaving you early, but once the batch is finalized, we will be continuing every day for at least 1 hour, 20 minutes for sure. So if anybody has got any queries, please ask me. We are done for the day. If you have any queries, let me know. So the details about the payment, the videos, the video recordings and all of that stuff. No, I'll teach both manual and automation. I am the person who will teach both manual and automation. So any details regarding the payment, the videos, the recordings and all that stuff, please reach out to the admin team. Admin team, Ramesh sir has posted his phone number. So you can reach out to him on WhatsApp and get your queries resolved. Prashant, so what do you want us to do? Yes, OOPS concepts will also be covered. Anyone can do it with certain amount of practice. If you can practice well, anyone can do this course. That's the catch. If you can do your practice well, anyone can do this, not a problem. When did I say Java is not necessary? I said Java is necessary. Core Java is necessary. We will be explaining everything from zero. So if you can listen to my sessions and practice at your home, you can easily cover core Java in a very short span of time. You need not worry about it. You guys have anything else? Chandana, as I've already said, reach out to the admin team. I've been repeating this multiple times. I have no idea about the recordings or the videos or even the payment details. The admin details have been provided in the chat box. Reach out to them. Not necessary. Joshi, check with the admin team. I'm not sure about that. Do you have any other queries? That is for you to decide. And no one to decide it. All right, guys. I believe that's it for today. I believe that's all your queries are. So I believe we are good to close. Or do you have any other queries still? Of course, we will be looking into the resumes. I will be also sharing sample resumes with you. So you can use those resumes and I will even show you what to update in Naukri, how to upload on Naukri also. So you need not worry about that. So that is for you to do it, right? If you practice well, you will easily do it. You can't expect me to be present in that, right? All right, guys. That's it. We will wind up for today. The same Zoom link even tomorrow also. If there is any change, they'll let you know. So you will be added to Google Classroom, post your payment confirmation. So check it with the admin team. Admin team has given their contact details in the chat box. You can check it out with them. All right. Stopping the recording here. Let's meet again tomorrow at the same time, same Zoom link.